welcome to the San Francisco English Mandarin Toastmaster. I'm Alan, and that's
I'm Kathy.
Kathy. Okay, so before we start off today's meeting, I see that we have some new faces in this club. We'd like to ask each new faces to come out, stand out and talk about what's your name and how do you find out about the club. So, is this Samuel?
Yes.
Would you like to?
Sure. My name is Samuel. I found this club on meetup.com. So I searched Mandarin. I've always wanted to improve my Mandarin or really learn it. I'm a native Cantonese speaker, and I've always wanted to try Toastmasters and haven't really figured out which one to join. So I thought I would observe and see what this is about.
Great.
Absolutely.
And yeah.
Barry?
I'm Barry Parasai. I also found out about this from meetup.com. So I work for a software company and just had recently had some free side code to look at some stuff outside of work and decided to give this a try. So I originally came from Taiwan, so I kind of speak Mandarin and English. So
Yeah. That's where we're from. Welcome. Yeah. And last but not least,
My name is Marco Chen. I was born in Hong Kong, and I took some lessons some years back to speak better Mandarin. So that's the reason why I'm here.
thank you. Thank you. All right. So I have an announcement I'd like to make just before we start the meeting. Over the weekend, our lovely secretary Amy sent out an email to everybody in regards to the goal setting. Well, this is if you didn't get the email, so you have a very positive face on your face. If you didn't get the email, please let us know, because we'd like you to take this opportunity to write down what you see yourself in 1 month, 3 months, and 6 months. How many speeches would you like to give? How many times Toastmaster or odd counter or timer would you like to be? Because the more you participate, the faster you will grow and the faster you will be who you really want to be, right? And we're here to make sure that we keep you on track on that goal. So please use this opportunity and send us your goals, and then we'll make a log and we'll keep you on track. Okay? So with that being said, we have one more thing that I would like to cover is the evaluation forms. Okay, so we came up with a new evaluation forms for evaluators. We have the little sheet with the half sheet.
You took me that?
Oh, we left two, right?
Well,
It's in the box.
Oh, it's in the box. Okay, so we came up with we have a new set of evaluation sheets, and that's for the evaluators. That gives a lot of criteria such as tone, your eye contact, your body posture, and everything else is on there. So those wouldn't give it to the evaluator. The person who take the role as an evaluator will get to use that. Now, for everybody else in the club, we always think that it's pretty waste of a paper. When after done with the meetings, we just throw this away. So we came up with a different idea. Is on the back page there should be a blank page over here. Okay. If you already write something on it, that's fine. Because today we'll only have 2 speakers and great speakers. So what we want you guys to do is just go ahead and fold the paper in half. Okay, go ahead and do that with me. And of course, we can also sign your cell phones if you get a chance. Okay, go ahead and fold your paper in half. And we would like to ask you 3 questions for each speakers. What is the takeaway from this speech? And what's good about the speech? And what needs to be improved about the speech? Okay, just 3 questions. Even if it's just one little sentence, it will be very helpful for the speakers. Because the more eyes to be seen, the more constructive feedback we'll get, and it means a lot to the speakers, right? That's how we're getting better in the future. So if you can go ahead and do that, just write down 3 questions. What's the takeaway message? And what is good about the speech? And what needs to be improved? Okay. And Kathy is going to explain all that in Chinese.
我们有个新的方法去给我们的演讲员送 feedback。3个问题第一个问题是你可的什么的 那个演讲有什么好处，有什么抵触的理思？第三个问题是，你觉得那个演讲有什么可以进步呢？每一个演讲员都想听了大家的支持。
Great. Yeah. So that's the announcements that we made. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask at the end of the meeting, and we'll be right here, and I'm more than happy to answer that. So with that being said, we're ready for the call. We're ready for the show. Okay. So we're gonna start the show right now. So I'm the English Toastmaster. My name is Alan, and this is the Chinese Toastmaster.
我是中文的 Toastmaster。
And her name's Kathy, lovely Kathy. And the thing, the theme for today, which I forgot to write on the board, the theme we choose for today is the ice cream. How many of you actually know that July, the month of July, is a National Ice Cream Month? How many of you actually know that? Okay, Jenny and knows that. Okay, this actually goes back to 1984 when Ronald Reagan was still the president. He designated the month of July as a National Ice Cream Month. It's because more than 90% of Americans consume ice cream. So he feels like that he needed to have a proper ceremony activity for the ice cream. So that's why he chose July as one of the national month for the ice cream. And he also named the third Sunday of the July as a National Ice Cream Day, which just passed the last Sunday. So if you forgot to have a scoop of ice cream, please go back and have some ice creams this weekend. That would be great. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Of course. Before we go into that, and we're gonna talk about our favorite ice cream experience here. Okay. To me, because I just moved out to San Francisco about 2.5 years ago, so I didn't have that many chances to have ice cream. Right? But 2 weeks ago, my friend took me down to this ice cream shop. It's called Mr. and Mrs. Miscellaneous. I don't know if you know where that is. It's in the Dog Patch area in San Francisco. It is by far one of the best ice cream I ever had in San Francisco. And let me tell you why. It's because everything was handmade and everything was organic. And then they pick up all the ingredients by their hands. And not only that, every day they will come out with different flavors. So every time you walk into the store, you always get something different. And that's very unique. Not too many stores can be like that. That's why they produce an extraordinary ice cream, which we're going to lead into the word a day later. And now we're going to turn into Kathy for the Chinese portion.
So 中文的说法 for extraordinary is 非凡 ，and 冰淇淋每个人都喜欢吃冰淇淋。and 冰淇淋第一个字冰，也是我们今天中文三词的第一个字冰冰冻三词非一而一行。不知道大家完全明白这个 phrase 的意思。基本上冰是 ice， 冻 cold， sun 3 stairs meters， 非一而之寒 means it's not in a day of cold。就是说冰不会在一日寒冬的天结成下车。就是说勤工不会是一天的劳力就可以得到了，你要慢慢的努力才会有今天的行走。
Great. So that means that you just have to really work your way for it, right? Like that was really extraordinary effort there by Kathy. Now in English, extraordinary actually you can break it down into two parts, right? It's two words put in together, extra and ordinary. Extra means more. Ordinary means normal. Could be mediocre. Could be just regular. So which means that if you want to get something more out of the something, you gotta put in a little more extra effort into it. But what is the definition of ordinary? Everybody has different definition of ordinary. It's based on your past experience, your culture, and backgrounds. So if you want to, I can't really define ordinary for you. Only you can do that. So it's never a competition between others but yourself. So if you want to get an extraordinary life, like I said, you got to put an extra effort into it. So by the end of the night, you think that you made a little more effort today throughout the day, that you have done something extraordinary for yourself for that day. And that's the word extraordinary. Okay, so what that being said, okay, so we went over the word of the day and the theme of the day. Now we're ready to introduce the roles of tonight's agendas. We have a lot of changes for tonight because a lot of people, they all started with work tonight, so we have quite a few changes. The first one we'd like to introduce will be our counter for Marion, and that will be, who do we do that? Our counter, yeah. That would be Robert. Robert is actually going to the restroom. Okay, okay. So next time we want to introduce will be the timer, which is our Regina. Yeah. Would you please stand up and talk about your role?
Okay. Tonight my role is timer. So what I'm doing is to keep track of the time for the speech. Which means, so I just like, so the green one, which means is the minimum time, and when I flip on the yellow, which means is the way half, and red one is the maximum time. So depends like which role they take on. So each one have a different the time limit.
And next, we'd like to introduce our English table topic, which is Johan. Johan, would you please stand up and talk about your role?
So I'll be the English table topics master today. So what I will be doing is bringing in some questions about today's theme, which is National Ice Cream Awareness Month, and I'll be calling up people to come and talk about, answer the questions and talk about ice cream.
Great, thank you. And the next one will be the memory table topic, which is VP of Education, Robert.
Yes. 我今天是那个普通话演讲人，那么我会在台上面问大家一些关于那个冰淇淋的问题。那么我会请大家上来讲一讲关于你吃冰淇淋的经验，希望你们可以就是 volunteer 上来说说。
Okay, would you also like to explain the other role that you're taking, which is the R counter and the grammarian?
Okay. Yes, I'm also the owl counter for tonight. The role of the owl counter is to catch all the ahs, ums, and all the repeat phrase that you use during your speech. And hopefully by cutting down these ahs and ums that you could improve on your speakings going forward.
Great, thank you. And our first English evaluator will be Ben. Ben, would you like to stand up and just
my role in evaluating the speech is that we'll be giving some criteria based on the preparation, the topic and content, the opening, organization, conclusions, style and confidence, voice, manner, gestures, eye contact, and grammar as well. So that's my job, is to evaluate the speech based on these criteria.
Thank you. And then last but not least, Elliot, which is also playing dual role as well, is our English evaluator and the general evaluator as well.
Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be evaluating our number 2 speaker. Her project is number 2 called Get to the Point. She's going to give a speech that will select a speech topic to determine its general specific purpose. She's also going to organize the speech that best achieves the purpose. Then she will make sure that there's a beginning, body, and conclusion. We will listen for that. She will show project sincerity and control any nervousness there. She'll be using 5 to 7 minutes, and she will try very hard not to use nervous.
Thank you. All right, so without further ado, let's move on to the speech, the prepared speech section. So our first speaker is Philip. Now Philip is a pediatrician who practices in San Francisco. He has been practicing in the Northeast Medical Center for over 9 years now, in a total of 12 years of working in the field. today his topic is focusing on the renting versus buying home. So Flip, the stage is yours.
So the title of my talk is Renting versus Buying a Home. So why did I choose this topic? This is something that is dear to me because because during the summer month I have friends that are both renting, and I also have friends that are also buying properties, and sometimes me and my friends we would have this discussion on this topic of whether it's better to rent or to buy. And I think that every one of us, I guess unless we're homeless, for the most part, we all have to have a place to stay. We need a roof over our head. And the only question is, are we going to rent or are we going to buy? And there's many factors that are involved. I think so I guess just want to quickly show your hand. If you're renting, maybe you can raise your hand. Just wanted to show. Okay. If you own your own home or you think about buying a home, can you raise your hand? Okay. So we have people from both both spectrums. So as someone who grew up here in San Francisco and have had the experience of renting and also advising friends that rent, a lot of my friends would come to me because especially those that just moved out here in San Francisco, they would ask me, "Hey Philip, I want to rent. Do you have any advice for me? You've been living here all your life. You must know something. What's the best way to go about doing this?" So when my friends ask me, where should I, how should I find a place? So the first thing I would say to them is that, there's a very well-known website called Craigslist, right? And Craigslist, you can find a lot of different rentals that are available, and particularly during the summer months, there's a lot of rentals. There's a lot of turnover during the summer months. So actually, this is a good time to look for a place if you're interested in looking for a place. So when you go on Craigslist, then you can scan through all the different ads and see what the price ranges are, and then get a sense of what the market is. And you can go to a few of you can visit a few properties, get familiar with the area, and then there's a lot of things to factor in. Whether you're buying or renting, you need to consider the location, transportation, the amenities. There's a lot of factors. So that's what I tell people to do in the beginning. Just to get a sense of things. And then people would ask me, "Okay, Philip, I've done that. Is there anything else? Is there any other secret tips? Any secret tips beyond Craigslist? Beyond what most people are doing in terms of looking for properties?" And there is a secret tip. This is sort of like an inside tip, and it's a little bit applicable to to this group because since we're Mandarin English Toastmaster, right? So the reason why it's applicable is because there's a secret that not too many people know about in terms of getting real, I guess low paying really low rents, and that is the properties in San Francisco apparently are over half the property, maybe like 55% of the property are owned by Chinese landlords. It's a fact. And there's a reason for that, because what happened was, especially the previous generation, whenever they had money, they didn't know much English. A lot of them were, they just don't want to play the stock market. They're scared of it. They don't know what's going to happen. And so as a result, a lot of the previous, the older generation Chinese folks, what they did was they just bought property. They bought one property. They have a little saving. They don't know what to do with it, so they bought another property, and then they kept buying the property. So right now, a lot of the properties are actually owned by Chinese landlords. And in fact, half the properties are owned by Chinese landlords here in San Francisco. And these landlords right now, a lot of them still don't. Their English is okay, but a lot of them rely on they're not familiar. They're not well versed with posting ads on Craigslist. And a lot of them are more traditional. They actually prefer to go with newspapers, but they don't go with the traditional newspaper. They don't go with Chronicle, SF Chronicle, or Examiner. What kind of newspaper do they end up using? Singdao Daily. I mean, that's like one of the more common, one of the forms that they use to post these listings. So with Craigslist, whenever there's a rental, there's like it's hundreds, if not thousands of people who will be able to see that rental and decide whether they want it or not. And so you're competing with a lot of different other people. But when you go with those single ads, I mean, you're screening a lot of people out. You're filtering a lot of people out because first of all, you have to be able to read that ad, and already there's not that many people. So it's like a supply and demand thing. When you have a lot of people, then obviously the prices are more competitive. When you have less people, then the prices are lower. So that's a tip. If you want to get the best rents, to get it for the lowest price. But so the question becomes, okay for renting. Okay, that's what you do. But how about buying? What's the case for buying? The case for buying, well, when you do the mathematics between buying a property versus renting a property, usually you come out ahead buying a property in the long run, and there's a reason for that. The first thing is that you get there's long-term appreciation of real estate. If you look through the graphs and you look through properties over time, if you hold on to a property 15, 20 years, you generally will come out ahead. If you hold on a property for just a short amount of time, like 5 years, 10 years, you tend to lose money. So it's not good to buy if your life is not stable. If you're not sure if you're going to be in a particular place for a while, if you're not sure about your life circumstances, it's probably something you want to hold off on. But if if your life is stable, that you're going to be in a particular place for a long time, and if you're going to live there for a 15, 20 year plus, something like that, or at least hold on to that property for that period of time, you generally will come out ahead. So in terms of making the choice, my recommendation to all my friends that are buying properties or looking for rentals or thinking, I would tell them the safest thing you can do is just rent. With rent, it's hard to go wrong. But when it comes to buying a property, you really have to make sure that you have the finances, that you're ready, and you're planning to stay in that location for a long period of time. Otherwise, you're going to lose out. So thanks for your attention. Thanks for listening.
Let's take a minute or two to write down the evaluations for Philip so he can have some feedback. So again, for 3 questions we should be thinking right now. The first question is what kind of message do you get from his speech? Second question is what are the good things you see, the good points you can take away from his speech? And the third, if you haven't seen any improvement, you can provide maybe in his next speech. And then now we can move on to our second speech of tonight. Is the second speech of Sue, and her title is "Effective Tax in American Future." She will provide us with some of the insights she thinks we could improve our next generation's health in America.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sue. Actually, I have one question before starting my speech. Anyone knows how many percentage of Americans are obese right now?
55.
Not that high.
What was the question
Oh,
again?
it's close. Oh, how many percentage? How much percentage of Americans are obese? Like
Okay.
fat?
I would say 25.
Yeah. Actually 34%.
Okay.
And it's gonna be 42% in 2030. It's pretty scary number for me. When I came to the United States, I couldn't afford like that's one thing that I really realized after here in the United States. So, and that this obesity has been a social problem in the United States for a while, for a long time, and then the tax has been proposed as one means to address this obesity problem. Also known as Twinkie tax. Have you guys heard of Twinkie? Yeah. This is American snack, right? Twinkie tax or junk food tax or snack tax. The tax, this fat tax is tax or surcharge which is placed upon the fattening foods or beverages like soda and individual. Actually, some people say that we have to impose a tax on obese people. But there are actually 3 reasons that I can agree on this idea. The first reason that actually the imposition of fat tax could reduce the number of fatty food lovers. Actually, I became a little bit fat food lover after coming here. I really like hamburger here and hot dog too. So because it's delicious, but also at the same time I was a college student, so it's cheaper and easy to get. And McDonald's and Kentucky Fries chicken is everywhere. So it would be one reason that if you put the tax on there, probably people can think of getting healthier food instead of picking up just all junk food. And second reason is that the fat tax is just appropriate as cigarette tax and alcohol tax. It has been working actually. In 2009, the sharp tax increase on cigarette in the United States has actually led to really dramatic decrease of smokers in the United States. So, have you ever seen the tobacco or cigarette advertisement here in the United States? Have you? Have you seen it?
Of course, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere? Oh my god, I don't know. But yeah, actually it's not allowed. It's forbidden to advertise tobacco and alcohol too. Because everyone knows that it's unhealthy and it's bad for the health body. That's why people think that it would be working for fat food too. And that would be working. And also, the third reason of that is the revenue from this tax can be used toward health programs or just exercise facilities or or educational program in high school, or it could be used for many places. That's what I was thinking too. If we can get more education about the anti-obesity thing, then we can learn more things. I'm sorry, just like and that's what I've been thinking, and actually it draws all the attention to not only in the United States but all over the world. And already in Denmark they've started putting on the tax on butter or oil. So it hasn't really shown the result yet, but just because they just started. And also Hungary and many European countries have already started it. And already in Korea I've heard about this story, and I was pretty mad at the first time because I'm the person who is going to be fat after eating, and I'm going to pay for that. What's the deal? But after thinking deeply, it would be really good in long run if we see the right direction. So because of these 3 reasons, I've been thinking that this fat tax will work in the United States well. And I actually cannot see anybody here who's who has to worry about that. But in the next generation, as Kathy mentioned, and also for our future. So I can totally see the fat tax in America's future. Thank you for listening.
Thanks. Thank you, Sue, for a wonderful speech. Perhaps no more ice cream for me over this week. You know, I don't want to get taxed on it, but I don't want to get that as well. So no more ice cream for me. Okay. Usually at this type of program, we'll move into the Chinese prepared speeches. But unfortunately, two of our prepared speakers, they have to stay overtime, work overtime at work. So we don't have any prepared Chinese speakers for tonight. So we're going to move on to our next section, which is our table topic. This is very interesting and very exciting section. And I'm going to have Johan come on. Johan is our English table topic master. So Johan, would you please come on here?
So when I was coming up with table topics for today, I was thinking about National Ice Cream Month of July, and it was interesting. So I decided to look up the history of ice cream. I don't know if any of you are aware of this, but ice cream has a very long history, and it spans back to ancient times across many different cultures. You know, the Persians, for example, used to take snow and ice cream from the mountains and mix it with fruit. And other cultures used to use frozen snow and mix it with, you know, different sweeteners to create ice cream. So ice cream has been used for a long time across many different cultures. But nowadays, you know, it's changed, it's evolved a lot. There are so many, you know, some simple beginnings. There's so many flavors now, so many flavors. So the first question that I wanted to ask was, you know, there's so many different flavors out there. If you could, you know, like anywhere from bubblegum to garlic flavored ice cream. So if you could come up with your own new and unique flavor of ice cream that nobody has ever thought of before, what would it be and why?
I like Korean food. I like kimchi. Kimchi ice cream.
Okay. I'll call on Elliot for this one.
I have a role, so do you want to call someone else?
Regina. Dan.
Almost. I can recall one specific ice cream that I tried in Singapore. It was during the Moon Festival. They have a mooncake ice cream that was being sold on I think one of the famous ice cream brands. But in Singapore, this mooncake crazy. They have all different types, but the type that I really liked was the mooncake because it was during the Moon Festival, and I thought it was very appropriate. It was very warm in Singapore. It was very cool to eat the mooncake ice cream. Thank you.
Mooncake is definitely, I've never tried that mooncake flavored ice cream, but that is sounds very extraordinary for a flavor to have in ice cream. So the next question I'd like to ask is, what I've noticed when thinking about National Ice Cream Awareness Month and ice cream in general, different people and different cultures prepare ice cream in many different ways, right? You know, if you go to Chevy's, I'm sure if any of you have ordered ice cream there, it's usually deep fried. Or, you know, in Italy they have, they're more, they have ice cream too, but they more special, like gelato there. And some people like it, you know, in the traditional cone. Some people like it in the cup. Some people like it with sprinkles on top. So, what is, if you were to create your own way of preparing ice cream, what would it be? What is your favorite way to prepare it? Michael?
favorite way to prepare ice cream? It's a very interesting question, and I'm trying to think of an extraordinary answer right now. So when I was little, my parents liked to read books to me and my siblings, and one of the books that they read was the Laura Ingalls Wilder books. It's actually a series of books describing the life of a family in, I guess it was about 150 years ago in the United States. And back then, they didn't have technology, they didn't have refrigerators or freezers, so making ice cream was a very involved process. And I think it would, in modern times, it would be extraordinary to duplicate that process. So let me describe what they did. In wintertime, they would go to the river and cut out a block of ice from the frozen river, and then carry it back to their farm where they had a shed made of straw and wood, and they would put the ice inside and put straw on top of it to insulate it. And then in summertime, they could go in there and they could take out a block of ice and it would be freezing cold. Now, can you imagine in the Midwest, the temperature can get incredibly hot, but you can get, they would get ice out of this ice house and then make ice cream the old-fashioned way with cream and a little bit of salt and sugar, and mix that together in a bucket that is surrounded by this ice. And you can imagine the extraordinary flavor and experience it would be to make ice cream with your own hands and then appreciate it on a hot summer day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. That is quite an extraordinary process of making ice cream. I mean, going through all the work of hand turning it and everything with ice. Well, next, basically as we were saying, Ronald Reagan came up with National Ice Cream Month in 1984, as Alan was saying, because of the popularity of the dessert. Over 90% of the United States consumes ice cream. And so if you recognize its popularity, that's why he came up with National Ice Cream Awareness Month. So I wanted to ask, my next question was, because different people, usually, with 4th of July, people do barbecues. Barbecues are associated with 4th of July. Fireworks are associated with New Year's. Christmas trees are associated with Christmas. If you were the president and you had to come up or encourage something for people to do nationwide, during July, during Ice Cream Awareness Month, what would it be? What would you create? And I'd like to call up one of the guests for that.
Could you repeat the question, please?
So, barbecues are associated with 4th of July. Fireworks are associated with New Year's. If you were to create something around Ice Cream Awareness Month, or something for people to do, or for them to eat, I guess, what would it be?
Well, I think you wouldn't be able to escape eating ice cream for one, right? So let me think. I would imagine the best place to eat ice cream in a social setting could be at a park. So I would recommend that we have, I would encourage a picnic at the park where ice cream is the centerpiece or the main course for the picnic.
月是7月份，那7月份就是冰淇淋节，我也不知道，今天不采访。
说到冰淇淋呢，我最喜欢吃的味道就是榴莲味道冰淇淋。我不知道你们有没有吃过，那个榴莲的味道，特别在那个 Marco Polo， 在那个 Sunset 那边有一间冰淇淋店，卖那个冰淇淋榴莲的冰淇淋蛮好吃。它还有其他的味道，你们可以去尝一尝。那么今天晚上呢，我就想问问大家，你们最喜欢吃的冰淇淋的味道是什么？刚说了，有些人喜欢吃那个 kimchi， 但是真的没有人上来就是讲为什么要吃那冰淇淋，那个 kimchi 的冰淇淋。像我呢，我本来就喜欢吃那个榴莲，那么现在能加上到那冰淇淋上面呢，我觉得特别蛮好吃。所以现在有谁可以再上来说说你们为什么什么味道你们是最喜欢吃的？会讲普通话的人，你们举手，你们可以举手吗？好，那请你上来说一说。你的名字？
我叫刘红。
刘红，欢迎你。
大家好。
你可以站在这边说话。
第一次参加你们这个聚会，我觉得我如果认为比较好的冰淇淋的口味，应该是我能想到的是，比如说可以绿茶或者是各种茶类放在冰淇淋的上面，因为这个原因，我想到是用茶来做它的底料，是因为这个本身它是非常健康的一个食品，一个饮料，然后对身体都是相对来说更加健康一些，然后我想到可以用花茶或者是红茶，或者是各种的绿茶，或者是各种茶在上面，可能是一个比较好的健康的饮食和这个冰淇淋在一起，这是我的建议。谢谢大家。
那这位朋友说到茶呢，就比较特别，因为茶呢，如果你喝的话，也可以减肥。因为你知道这个绿茶可以减肥。那么如果绿茶加上冰淇淋呢，会不会减到肥呢？这个我就不知道了啊，这也要看看。好，那第二个问题呢，除了你们喜欢吃那个味道，你们还喜欢在哪里去喜欢吃冰淇淋呢？有些人呢，特别喜欢在家里一个人站在那个沙发前面自己看，一般就是看电视就吃冰淇淋。有些人呢喜欢站在那个冰淇淋店，跟一两个朋友站在一起吃冰淇淋。那么你们有没有什么特别的地方去吃冰淇淋呢？就是你在这个地方吃冰淇淋，会给你一个很好的感觉。有没有什么地方你会特别喜欢去吃冰淇淋呢？有没有想说这个上来想说这个话题？
我可以猜，你呀，你先来。
好，那请 Regina 上来。
首先我也蛮赞同爸爸讲的那个榴莲 ice cream， 它真的是一个很特殊的味道。第二个问题就是说，他刚刚讲的，从有一个什么地方我比较喜欢吃。说实在，我从来没想到这个问题。当他讲的时候，我可以想象到，如果我可以坐在 Alaska 那个所有雪山包围我在中间，然后捧着一个很大的 ice cream 在那边吃的话，我觉得是一个很有趣、很享受的一个过程。我就是希望有机会试一下。
好。这个建议也不错，在最冰冷的地方吃冰淇淋。其实，在旧金山，在我住那边，就是常常会在晚上会很冷，但是很多人会到那个冰淇淋店叫 Joe's Ice Cream， 在那个19街和那个 Gary 那边，很多人 都会到里面吃冰淇淋，但是外面就是很冷很冷。你们应该发现，每一次你去到那个冰淇淋店里面就比较热，但是外面就可以很冷，但就是一种吸引力吧，可以说。好，那么第三个问题关于冰淇淋，我现在怎么说呢？如果你们吃冰淇淋的时候，应该有人说过，就是你们喜欢放一些东西在冰淇淋上面。最奇怪的东西你放在冰淇淋上面是什么呢？就是有些人，我不知道，有些人在吃冰淇淋的时候会放辣椒 ，hot pepper。有些人在吃冰淇淋的时候会放一些特别的材料上去，可以说，那你可以放那个香蕉，也可以放苹果。但是最奇怪的东西，你们放在冰淇淋上面是什么呢？应该一定有吧？因为大部分的人吃冰淇淋不会就是只是吃冰淇淋而已只是吃那个味道而已。有些人就喜欢特色一点，喜欢放一些东西在上面。那么你们比如说，要不是你们的，你们听过有没有人在冰淇淋上面放一些比较特别的东西上面？有没有人可以这样讲这个话题？
I have to apologize. My Mandarin is not that good, and part of it that I have doubts whether I understood everything that he said. But correct me if I'm wrong. Your question is, what is the most special, unusual toppings people put on the ice cream, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Wow, I'm surprised. Okay. I would say I would say on top of my head, bacon. That's something I'm trying to get a laugh. Maybe not that much laugh, but something unusual. Have I tried yet? No. And again, that's my answer. And I'm sorry, my Mandarin is not that fluent. I'm not that. So that's my answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
腌肉放上那个冰淇淋，其实真的很特别。那么我觉得我最特别放上去的，我有个朋友真的放辣椒上去上那个冰淇淋，因为他就本来喜欢吃辣的，他就在那个四川那边人就特别喜欢吃辣的，所以什么东西都要放那个辣椒上去，所以呢，其实不是奇怪，你甜加辣也可以产生一种不同的味道。要么你们可以下一次试一试，然后再告诉我你们会不会吃啊？好，谢谢大家。
Marco, actually, I tried the bacon ice cream before. It's delicious.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you gotta try that. Especially if you go out to the Texas state, they have a store that just sell everything with bacon on it. Bacon candy, bacon cotton candy, bacon ice cream.
Where in San Francisco?
No, in Texas actually.
Oh, okay.
If you ever go to Texas, it's really, really great.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we're gonna go ahead and move to the next section, which is our evaluation. Our general evaluator, which is Elliot. Elliot, would you please come up to the stage? Now, Elliot, we see that we have some more new faces walk in, so if you can just briefly explain what your role is, that would be perfect.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. President and Mr. Toastmaster. 大家好，这一部分就是评估的。为了要平等的话，已经讲了太多英文了，这是一个双语演讲会，是不是？所以呢，你不要担心，我会解释。I will speak in English as well. Don't worry. I'm just trying to even things out. 评估 is Chinese for evaluation. Why is evaluation so important? This is the one section where the speakers get feedback. I am a Tai Chi teacher. My father is a Tai Chi teacher, and he says, practice does not make perfect. 你单独练习没有办法说1/4美，没有人评估，没有人批评的话，我就没有办法改变。Practice makes permanent. It does not make perfect unless somebody corrects me when I'm doing something incorrectly. So this portion of the program is very important. I'm going to call upon some evaluators to come up to give feedback on the speaker, where they did well and where they could improve. So our first evaluator to evaluate Philip is Ben. So Ben, can you come up here and evaluate?
Okay, Philip's speech tonight is number 4, and the evaluation guide for the 4th speech is how to say it. And I'm looking for specific words that you'll be using, vivid description of the topic that you're speaking. And based on the evaluation sheet, I find your preparation was very good. In other words, you know your subject, and you're able to start with your opening with some questions that would raise some curiosity about your speech. Your style was good. You were very confident. Your voice, I can hear very well, clear. Your gesture was very good too, as well. And your eye contact was excellent. I thought you look at the audience and try to explain to you what you were trying to explain to do. You use specific words very clearly, like a Craigslist, specifying how to rent a property and how to buy a property. So the one thing that I feel that you probably should improve on is to, when I listen to a speech, I say, tell me something I don't know, especially the question of renting or buying a house. I was hoping for a punchline that this is the better than this. So that's one thing you do not have. And you mentioned the housing bubble in San Francisco that had an impact on buying a house. And so I was waiting for that kind of information because everyone knows the housing in San Francisco is still very expensive. Nonetheless, property could have an impact on me to rent as opposed to buy property. So that was the only thing I see that you could improve on. Thank you.
And we have a second evaluator to evaluate Sue's speech, and I'm going to call her up right now. Will Elliot Mao please come up to evaluate Sue? Fellow Toastmaster, most welcome guests, and especially Sue. This is your project number 2. In a book with 10 different kinds of exercise, this one is to help you organize a body of information and to give it to the audience. I think that you did an excellent job according to what it told you in this exercise book. It says choose a topic that will be easy to understand, that is of interest to the audience, and is credible. What more credibility than to have something about fatness, about taxing, and about health? Secondly, you also used a very, very specific methodology that was suggested in here. Toastmaster always says try to choose 3 topics and present it as well as possible. So right away you said to the audience, I have 3 reasons why I agree with having taxes on this. So you want to have it so that even though it's a cheap and easy way to food, we need to offset it with some way so that cheap and easy does not prevail. Then you mention about how successful cigarettes are. Why don't we use that? And then third of all, you talked about getting revenue from it. So the audience is able to pick up on that very, very fast. I liked about your speech was that you also use humor. You also use a lot of personal. You looked at your audience and you smiled. This is a very serious subject. This is a very unpleasant subject. And you actually managed to get this information to the audience in an acceptable way without being offended, being annoyed, or even being bored. I like that. So what to do to make this speech even better? If you would all think about how Sue came up with her speech. Remember in Toastmaster we say over and over again that there are really three parts to it: the beginning, the middle, and the end. We love to emphasize the beginning and the end. How did we start it? So Sue, you said, my name is Sue, and Ashley, I'm going to ask you a question. How many percentage do you take? That's kind of nice, but remember, you only have a very one sentence. The one sentence to start the speech should not be, I actually have a question to ask you. Come right over here and ask it right away. How many percentage in the United States do you think we have obesity? Right away, you see. And then so concluding it, I'm thinking the same thing too. We are told beginning and ending, we said, what's the takeaway message? So the takeaway message is, can it be as dramatic as enough? You are so pleasant, you are so humorous. Maybe the ending could also be pleasant and humorous too, in saying, how many fat people do you see in this audience? I don't see too many. But now you guys are going to be my messenger. Please, won't you? Madam Toastmaster and Madam General Evaluator, come back up here. Okay, so right now, it's still the General Evaluator. Sorry, it's a little confusing. It's a little confusing. So for our guests, let me say clearly, the General Evaluator is here and introduces the evaluators to come up. And because I am confusing you, I confess, thankfully, you will know when you come to the next meeting, when we have more people who are, instead of show, they'll have different faces. Maybe it will be your face. Maybe it will be your face, okay? Now the second portion of the general evaluation is also my turn to evaluate the meeting itself and the club in itself. This is a brand new club, even though we just chartered back in April. And because it's brand new, it's very important to also get feedback on how are you doing as a club. All our meetings have three parts to it: the table topics, the prepared speeches, and the evaluation. That all of you do very well. You look at the agenda, all of it is here. What I want to remark is 有什么比较特殊? That is very important. 特殊. I like the fact that the president and the vice president says, let's do something a little different. Let's add an evaluation for the audience to put in there. Let me tell you, not too many clubs have done that. They just stick to the same forms that are very confusing, wasting paper and stuff like that. Do you think that this is a good idea? Not only is it asking you to not kill any more trees, but it is asking for audience participation. That is an excellent idea. Also, they said, let's make it simple. This is what we're all about. Communication, how effective we are. If it's too complicated, if it's not easy, then we will not do it. So today's forum, let's just try to pay attention to that. Where we could probably improve, of course, is 这个中文普通话还是用的不够。所以现在我就是建议大家，如果你会讲双语的话，最好讲英文跟中文。但是我也要警告，不要把它和起来，千万尽量不要讲 Chinglish。不要讲 Chinglish。什么叫 Chinglish 呢？ When you want to finish a phrase, finish the whole thing in English or Chinese, and then if you want to add Chinese, that's fine. 可以加 不要剪。比如说，我很喜欢吃 ice cream， 我很喜欢吃冰淇淋。I love ice cream. Does that make sense? Because all of us are here to improve both languages. And even though Marco hears and he does not speak it, we are using language. He understood Mandarin. And even though Sue is Korean, she also understands Chinese. And she comes here and she speaks English. So this way, we all grow together. 要记得用生字. Okay? So now I'm going to hand over back to the Toastmaster. 是谁?
Yeah, let's move on to the report. Regina, can you give us Robert, can you give us the Alzheimer's report, please?
Okay, so for tonight's counter, Alan has 2 L's, Katie, Kathy, you have 5, Phillips, 5, 10, 35, with 20, and then Sue has 15, Elliot only caught 1, Johan, I have 5, 10, 21, Ben has 9, Michael had 3, Samuel had 3, and I wasn't able to count other people when I was up there, so that's that.
And can we have Regina to report the timers?
Okay. The first speech, Philip had 7 minutes and 12 seconds, and Sue 5 minutes 59 seconds, and table topic first speech, Ben 35 seconds, and Michael 1 minute 50 seconds. Yeah, the third one. Oh, you're Michael. You are 1 minute and 50 seconds, and you 26 seconds. 中文即兴演讲的第一个演讲者是刘红，是刚刚好1分钟，然后我就44秒，然后 Marco 是48秒，然后那个评补员 Ben 是1分54秒，然后艾米是3分18秒。
谢谢。And then we would like to move to our visitors to see if there be feedback from clubs. And can we have you share your feedback with us? Can I have your name again?
Eddie.
Eddie? Or you can just stand up and share your feedback.
For
For the club in general, the meetings. I don't remember if it's the first time you were here, and have you have any comments regarding
Okay.
how you liked our
Okay.
club?
Hi, buddy. My name's Eddie. I'm from the city. My first time here, Toastmasters. Sorry I was late. Can't really give too much detail just because my first visit, so I don't want to pass too much judgment on that. But it's very professional here. People are very fluent in both languages. So the topics are quite interesting. They're obviously not very current, at least some of them. Not much else yet, really. I'll think of more. I'll share it. Sorry.
Thank you.
Samuel?
Sure. Again, it's my first time to any Toastmasters. I share Eddie's comment on how professional everyone is. Everyone's very practical. Being here, sharing the time, giving feedback. I look forward to joining this club.
Great. Gentleman next to Samuel.
Hi, this is my first time to. I come from Thailand, and then I'm an international student. Right now I'm studying I'm taking ESL 606 called I have to improve like a speaking for English and that. But actually, I did not know too much about Chinese, but this is my first time too, and then I think this club is very interesting for me. Yes.
Actually, I just want to add in, my friends really love ice cream. Really love it. I really grab me to go there. To be frank, I'm not a big fan of ice cream, but I really, the topic is really extraordinary, I think.
Nice.
So I can come here and can share which stories best, the local information. We are same school from the AU, so I think today is very professional the speak, and it use very professional team to charge which part to respond. I think that's very great. That feedback is really important. So I'm very impressed with that. I hope and looking forward to see you guys in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Larry?
And also, for first time to the semester, so really, really inspired, and I like the speech from Elliot a lot. I think she does a pretty good job. Both English and Chinese communicate pretty well. And also the prepared topic also very interesting. I think I learned something from that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Please, Parker.
This is a very productive hour for me. I learned something today, and I'm reminded that, as you put it very nicely, that sometimes we need to be aware of those techniques when we are making a speech or saying something in public arena, such as the beginning, the middle, and the end. And those are important. And sometimes I feel that I need to be reminded of that, and I have enjoyed coming. This is my first time, and I like it. I hope I will be back. And moreover, I just want to say something about Philip. I took some notes in Seoul as well. You two also engage other audience, and that's wonderful. And asking questions and getting the audience involved. I like that because that also keeps me awake too. Thank you. Nice to be here.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Welcome everybody here, especially all the new guests. Doesn't matter if you're here to learn English.